Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review we take a look at the Google Pixel 3a, Google's latest smartphone, designed to offer a somewhat of a premium experience in a mid-range body. For Google, the Pixel 3a is an attempt to bring in people who didn't want to pay the full premium price for the Pixel 3. So rather than making a phone that is completely different from the premium model, it's basically just a pared down version of that one. So for the most part, you get a lot of the same sort of features, but then there's a few things that are missing. So I'm just going to do a quick comparison and show you what this device is like. So first things first, no water resistance, no wireless charging, no eSIM functionality, no visual core chip for the camera. There's, you have less storage space. You have 64 gigs of storage space. There's no 128 gig option. You have, you do have a headphone jack though, by the way. So that is one thing. The screen is not made of Gorilla Glass. It's made of something a little bit, I don't want to say less durable, although it is a little less durable. So you got to be careful dropping this thing, whether it's a toilet or a concrete floor. It is going to be a little fragile. It's nice and light though. It's pretty much the same weight, a slightly bigger screen and a slightly taller frame. But other than that, the device, when you look at them, when I say them, I mean the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3a sort of together, they look like carbon copies almost. I mean, yeah, one's taller than the other, but they look so similar. In the back, it's exactly the same layout too, with the fingerprint sensor and where the camera's arrayed. So everything is more or less where it already is, like the buttons and everything like that. Just the SIM slot is in a slightly different place. But other than that, the devices share a lot of those physical similarities. From the software perspective, it's still stock Android. It's Android 9 Pie, and just kind of using the device felt very similar to the Pixel 3. It may not be quite as zippy, although frankly I felt it was pretty fast. The Snapdragon 670 processor is pretty nice on this device. I wouldn't advise something like gaming or really intensive tasks that let's say you're doing a lot of photo or video editing or something like that. You can do those things, but you're going to notice a bit of a slower pace or a lag even in doing so. So there is that factor to consider also. But I think for the most part, if you're just looking for a handset that's just going to work well and is just going to be kind of consistent for you, then the Pixel 3a really checks off those boxes. Now, I want to get into the camera quickly because the visual core chip is not part of this phone, but the software that the Pixel 3 has when it comes to photography is. So for the most part, the photography side, the camera is going to shoot very, very similarly in the Pixel 3a. I noticed that outside of night sight mode, there is a bit of a low light and night shots, especially in really low light, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. So you do want to use the night sight feature for those. But generally speaking, the photos turn out quite good, especially for a camera, for a phone that's in the mid-range. This is probably the best camera you're going to be able to get right now. One new thing they added for video is time-lapse video. So if you want to shoot a time-lapse video either with a handheld or with a tripod or something like that, you can do that. That is a newer mode that they added. There is only one front-facing camera lens, so you can't do those wide-angle portrait shots that you could with the Pixel 3. You only have one lens to work with, but portrait mode does work. So if you do want that bokeh effect behind you, you still can get that, and that of course works in the rear as well. So then there's battery life. 3,000 milliamp battery, which is only marginally bigger than the Pixel 3, but because you have a less intensive processor, there's just less pressure on the whole system happening here. The battery's actually really good. I went a whole day easily with this phone, and that's with mixed usage. Once I upped the usage with a lot of streaming or a lot of video and stuff like that, naturally it went down, but I covered a whole day very easily. I mean, at its peak with mixed usage, I hit about 36 hours. So that's really good. How it's going to do over time is hard to say, but for the most part, right out of the box, you've got a really good battery to work with. And that's my review of the Google Pixel 3a for Best Buy Plugin. I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.